everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have my January book haul. So one of my goals for 2022 is to not buy that many books. Going into what is basically a book buying ban for 2022. However, I do still have some books to show you guys today. January was my birthday month, so I did have some gifts from friends, and I did purchase a couple things, and then a couple things came in from previous purchases that I did in 2021, so they don't really count. Long story short, I do have things to show you today, although I did not actually spend much money at all. The first things that we're going to go through are actually the birthday presents. The first two books that I have here were sent to me from Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe. I believe that everybody that sent me presents have booktube channels. I will leave them linked down below so you guys can check them out as well because I absolutely love them. But these were the books that Olivia Savannah sent me. One is Emily of New Moon by L.M. Montgomery. This is, I believe, not a part of the Anne of Green Gables series because that is a long series, but it is by the same author. I absolutely love Anne of Green Gables, and I know Olivia Savannah has also been getting into it lately, so that was part of the reason she sent me this one. I don't particularly know what this one is about, but I do see a cat on the cover, so I'm very, very excited, and it looks like it is going to follow Emily, who is also an orphan. So I mean, that's how Anne started. I'm very excited about this one. And then she also sent me Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mbalia. This is the first book in this series in the Rick Riordan Presents line. From my understanding, Rick Riordan Presents always has books featuring mythology, that kind of stuff, from different cultures around the world, and I do believe this is going to be based on Black culture in America. I'm very excited for this. I have been wanting to read more Rick Riordan Presents books, and I just haven't really done that lately. That's my bad, but I'm so happy that I have this one. The next book I have here is Hang the Moon by Alexandria Bellafleur. This was sent to me by Christina from Northwest Reader, and this is an adult romance. I do believe Christina gets into adult romance sometimes, but I was a little surprised to see this from her just because she is mostly a horror reader, and I do read those sometimes as well. But let me tell you, I am so excited for this. I read the first book in this series of companion novels called Written in the Stars in 2021. Absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good, and this one, I believe at least one of the characters is bi, so we are still going to have the queerness in our story, but otherwise, besides that, I think it is a male-female romance by this author, and I don't know too much about it, but I love the first one so much, and I cannot get enough romance books in my life either, so I'm very excited for this. The next one I have here is Recursion by Blake Crouch. This was sent to me by Lena from Sufficiently Advanced Lena, and yes, this is Blake Crouch. I think I've read a short story by him a couple years ago, something like that. I don't remember, but I've never read one of his full-length novels, and people are always talking about Dark Matter and Recursion. They are sci-fi, mystery thrillers, and it sounds right up my alley. Because it is partially a mystery thriller, I don't want to go into this and actually figure out what the summary is. This might have something to do with time travel or alternate dimensions. I could be completely mistaken. All I know is it is sci-fi and thriller, and people love it, and I am so ready. The next one I have here is Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. This was sent to me by Michelle from Michelle Reads YA. This is another romance, and again, I don't know too much about it, except for people have been reading this one lately, seeming to love it, and I believe one of our characters is non-binary. I personally don't think I've read a specific romance where one of our characters was non-binary, but I am so excited for it. And again, like I said, people have been reading this and loving it, and I'm ready. Then I also have Ink and Druid by Kevin Hearn. This was sent to me by Kat from Kat's Book Corner. Literally, as soon as I saw this come in the package, the only person I knew it had to be from was her. This is a book set in the world of the Iron Druid Chronicles, which I have read, I think, about half of the series, but I have not continued yet. I need to. But from my understanding, you can read these separately. You do not have to read the first series first. And she loves the series. I liked the books that I read previously, and it is something that, I just know she's talked about on her channel before many times. And so yeah, as soon as I saw this, I knew it was from her. I absolutely love this cover. Like, the covers of this series are phenomenal. And so yes, this is going to be adult fantasy magic. I think it is set in modern day as well, so like urban fantasy, but yes, I'm very, very excited. And the last birthday present I have here is The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. This was sent to me by Rye from Rye's Reading Corner. This is another romance, so I think like half of what I got this time could be considered romances. I'm not mad at that. I'm very, very excited. This is one that was getting a lot of hype, I think near the second half of 2021, and I'm very, very excited for it. This is going to be a male-male romance. I believe they're in some sort of spotlight, like it happens behind the scenes. I don't know exactly if one is the star or not, but I've heard amazing things. I need to read this. Then moving into things that technically I bought for myself, but I bought them in December and they just didn't show up in time for my last book haul. So the first one I have here is Firefly, the Ghost Machine. This is by James Lovegrove and is the third book in this series of Firefly novelizations. When Barnes & Noble was having their big like 50% off hardcover sale in December, I ended up with books 5 and 6, and I think the year previous to that I had books 1 and 2, and they didn't have 3 or 4, so I ended up buying these to be shipped to me, and so now I have them. So I have all 6 of the books out so far. And I don't know much about any of the books in this series really, except for I do believe they are supposed to be taking place during the show time. I know some of them also cover events that were supposed to be happening after season 1 of the show, even though the show got canceled. So this is like building out the lore and everything. And this one's going to have something to do with Jane, is what it looks like in the summary. He's not even on the cover, so like I don't know how much he's in it, but he's the name that shows up the most in the summary. But then that means I also got book 4, which is Firefly Generations. This one is by Tim Leben. So a lot of these books are written by James Lovegrove, who wrote I think books 1 through 3 and maybe one of either 5 or 6. But Tim Leben wrote number 4. And this one's going to have something to do with River. She is the biggest picture on here, and it looks like she is in the summary the most. Apparently there's some sort of map that is pointing the way to an ancient legendary arc. I don't know, but I'm very excited. The last physical edition that I have right here is going to be The Croaking by Megan Gray. This was originally a webtoon. I think there are still comics being put up on webtoon for this, but I started reading it when it first came out like forever ago, and they eventually did a Kickstarter for the first volume in the series. Yeah, volume 1 at First Flight. I absolutely love this series. Like, the art style is amazing. A lot of it's very dark. I was like looking at stuff that's like set at night, but I absolutely love this. This is a book and a world that follows these sort of like bird-human hybrids. This is just how the world works. They're not actually like hybrids, but they are people with wings. And I do believe this is eventually going to be male-male romance. I don't think up to the point that I read in it there was actual romance in it yet, but we have amazing like friendships and stuff, and I love this, and I'm so happy I have a physical copy for my shelves. So those are all of the physical books that I have to show you today, but in order to keep myself accountable, I did also want to talk about any ebooks that I get in the month as well, because I'm actually working on getting my TBR down. In 2021, I was working on getting my physical TBR down. This year, I'm doing physical and ebooks. So I have 3 ebooks that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. The first one is Renegade Love by Anne Aguirre. This is the 3rd and I believe final book in the Galactic Love series that she has done of companion novels. They are sci-fi, romance, indie published, and I absolutely loved the first one. I think it was one of my top books of 2020. I really did enjoy the second one as well, although not as great as the first one, but I did read that in 2021, and this one technically has not come out yet as the date of I'm filming this. It's coming out on January 28th. However, I am part of her newsletter subscription group, and so I did get a free copy of this. If I didn't get a free copy, I was going to buy it anyway because I absolutely love this series. But this is going to be a sci-fi romance, like I said before, between an alien bounty hunter and a like human who escaped Earth in order to slack off in a like weird alien zoo thing. Yes, I know it sounds a little bit weird, but I'm so excited for this. I have not started reading it yet because I have a lot of TBR books to get through, but I needed it. The next one I purchased is A Better Fate by D.N. Bryn. D.N. Bryn is the author of Our Bloody Pearl, which I read in 2021. Absolutely loved, one of my top books for the year. Like, I just really enjoyed it. And this is actually a short story that I purchased for free. I think it's going to go up to 99 cents at some point, but when I purchased it, it was free. And it's going to be a sapphic romance story between a zombie and a dryad. It's a very short story. I think Amazon says it's only like 17 pages. I have not read it yet, but I absolutely loved Our Bloody Pearl so much that I had to pick this up. This is not set in the world of Treacherous Tides, which is the series name of Our Bloody Pearl, and Once Stolen, which is the second book in that series. It's not set in the same world, but like I said, I love the writing style that D.N. Bryn has, so I had to get this. And then the last book, I pre-ordered it. I do not have it quite yet, but it's going to be Saga issue 55 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is actually coming out on January 26th, and I thought I would mention it here because I will be reading it in January as well. I have been doing the live show discussions for the Saga read-along that Ashley from Bookish Realm is hosting, and I've been on there. Isabel from Happy for Now, Bree from Locked Petition, and Erica from The Broken Spine. We've all been on there discussing Saga, and we are going to have the volume 9 and issue 55 discussion near the very end of January. I think like on the 27th or 28th. I will have it linked down below for you guys, but I pre-ordered this as an e-copy because I do have a physical version coming in that I purchased sometime last year, like pre-ordered it really early, but because we are having the discussion like the day after I think this comes out, I need an ebook version so I can actually read that right away. And so actually, this is the only book I purchased with money in January. I paid $2.99 for it. There probably was some tax or something, but that's what I paid for. So everything that I have here, that's the only one that I paid for, but this is set in the world of Saga, which is a sci-fi fantasy, very mature series. There's war and everything like that. But I've absolutely been loving it, and this is the newest thing coming out from them after a like 2, almost 3-year hiatus. I am so excited. And actually, I am back to give you one more book to haul. So this is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and this was a gift for my birthday that just showed up a little bit late from Heather from Bell's Library. This has been all over BookTube, Book Twitter, Book Talk. I'm assuming, I don't actually go on there, but I feel like I have seen this everywhere. And it is a romance. It was based on Raylo, which you can see from the cover. I haven't watched all those movies, so I don't really have a preference either way. So, you know, whatever. It was based on fan fiction. Some of the best books are, so like, I don't think that necessarily has to mean anything. So, yeah. One thing that I know about this book is I believe our main female character is demisexual, and we never have enough rep for like asexuality stuff like under that umbrella, which demisexual does fit under there. I also identify that way, so I'm very excited to try this one out. And then one thing that I think I'm going to be doing in every single haul this year, because I want to be kept accountable for my TBR, I started 2022, the very beginning of January, off with 661 TBR books. Those are both physical books and ebooks. Currently, at the time of filming this, without counting these, I've read 8 things, so I'm actually currently now at 653 TBR books. But then we have to add in things back in. And so I just did a count, taking out the Croaking, because I actually did read that previously. This is just a physical copy of it now. I have 12 things to haul. The books and the 3 ebook versions. This number might change because I'm already planning on reading issue 55 of Saga by the end of January, but if I add in the 12 things that I have not read currently, my TBR number is currently sitting at 665. Again, that number is probably, hopefully, going to change by the end of January. I'm filming this with like a little over a week to go, but that's actually not horrible. My number did go up a little bit from 661 to 665, but it's still very, very close. And I have a feeling that January is going to be one of the biggest book haul months because of the fact that my birthday was in January and I got presents. But otherwise, I only spent like $3 this month on books, so that's pretty good. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!